What's going on, everybody? Very, very special guest today. Introducing former Bellator King of the Cage, MFC, and current light heavyweight contender in the UFC, Mr. Sam Smilin' Alvey. Woo!
Woohoo!
How you doing, man?
Oh, doing wonderful. Thank you for having me on, my friend.
Oh, we appreciate how you giving the time to us, man. We deeply appreciate it. First and foremost, how was your 4th of July? We know it seemed like you were having fun on Instagram.
Yeah, we had a good time. We were out in, me and a bunch of my fighting buddies, we went out to Vegas for the weekend. My family, they all went back to Wisconsin
Yeah.
a week and a couple days before I get to go back there. So I was bacheloring it up out in Vegas.
Nice. So, again, I haven't been there. If I'm in California, I haven't been there in a while. Is it pretty much half closed off? Is it full wide open? How is it over there?
It was pretty much just wide open. Everywhere
Okay.
you go, they say, hey, wear a mask. But you kind of tell nobody cared. They just got paid to say, hey, put your mask on.
Yeah.
And so you put it on and they'd walk away and you could do whatever you wanted after that.
Yeah.
But there's always somebody around saying, hey, pull your mask up.
Okay. So they're just doing it for protocol purposes, basically.
Yeah. It sounds more like they're doing it so they can say they're doing everything they can.
Okay. For sure. So speaking of the quarantine, I'd like to ask how have you been spending your time during it? Has it affected you at all?
It's affected me almost not at all.
Wow.
I've always gotten to train. I got to really not much of my schedule has been changed. My kids, I only have one that's in school, so we just kind of homeschooled her, but we did a lot of that ourselves before anyways. The hardest part was, I'm always at the gym all day. Back when we were open, my kids could go to the gym too, and they play in the kids club. Now the gym wasn't officially open outside of the fight team, so the kids would go, but they couldn't go play with their buddies.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of the gym, has that aspect affected you during the quarantine?
No,
training and stuff?
The gym's all open right now.
Yeah.
But for my last fight, no, it actually helped. I didn't ever have to teach any classes. I was able to just go work out, come home, relax, and go work out again. It was nice.
Yeah. And as far as like your training partners, coaches and stuff like that, was everybody just all full go, or was there a little bit of hesitation when this first started?
No, everyone was full go. We saw from the beginning that it only affects certain people, and none of us are over 55.
Yeah.
So it had, we were not scared. And as a matter of fact, we all kind of figured we had it. We all got it in January.
Yeah.
Because we're in Southern California, and Southern California got hit first. Just nobody knew it.
Yeah. No, yeah. I've even heard that it might have been here since November of last year, which is crazier.
Yeah. My whole house got sick the second week of January, and it was just, it was the flu. It wasn't anything terrible. I actually never got sick. I was one of the the COVID guys that just didn't feel anything. Me and my middle child, we never felt anything, but everyone else got wiped out for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, and they're good to go.
That sounds like it, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So being this, and I want to ask this before my family gets super mad at me. If this was up to you, how would you solve the COVID situation? I understand there's a lot of information out there, uncertainty. Like real quick, from my perspective, I do think, as reckless as it sounds, I feel like we all need to be exposed to it, build some kind of immunity to it before I guess there's a vaccine, I guess. But I have no other options besides that.
No, that's it. I mean, at first they said we're just going to make sure the only thing we could do is try and slow down the rate of which people got it so that the hospitals never get it overran.
Yeah.
The hospitals never got close to being overran. 1 or 2 of them in New York got pretty busy.
Yep.
But even then, as the city itself, all the hospitals were never overwhelmed. Nowhere in the country have the hospitals been overwhelmed. So, it was a success. We never overwhelmed anything. And now they've changed the goal from don't overwhelm to nobody's allowed to get sick ever again. And it's like, oh my goodness, that's not a good way to be. It's weakening immune systems for all these kids that are hiding in their basements. And more than that, it's it's kind of teaching kids a little bit. Yeah, obey your government at all moments, at all times. They know what Big Brother knows what's best.
Yeah.
And I have done everything in my power to make sure. I preach to my kids. I said the government is rarely right. Don't
Yeah.
don't fold to them. Use your own brains. You can look at the statistics now, and try and read more than just the cover page of a newspaper article.
Oh yeah.
Man, you read that, it's like, oh my God, the world, it's the worst outbreak ever right now. And then you read down, and well, nobody's actually dying. We're just we're getting sick at a higher rate.
Yeah.
We're also testing at a higher rate. So.
You know, yeah, no, for sure. I don't know if you saw the post John Jones made, where basically there's like this conspiracy thing going on where you post, I mean, you type any 3 numbers in Google, type COVID cases, and there's an article for every single 3-digit number out there. So
yeah, I've seen stuff like that.
yeah.
And I'm kind of embarrassed. I'd say I'm embarrassed for our country for the way we've handled it. Because we've done more than most countries have. I mean, we've really, from day one, we've kind of been on top of this. But the whole world is kind of shut down, so I can't just be embarrassed for us. And I'm going to get in all sorts of trouble for saying this. Every few interviews I do, I say, yeah, I'm not a big COVIDiot. That's what my dad. That's what my dad calls it.
That's
I'm
funny.
not a huge COVIDiot, and I get screamed at on Twitter every time I say.
I
it.
bet.
Right. Twitter's they've stopped me from saying anything. I don't want to put up with it. So
Oh my gosh.
I stopped tweeting about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's other stuff going on. I don't want to put on my Eddie Bravo hat, the conspiracy stuff going on, but I think there's more going on. There's people getting clicks. The news is getting more publicity than ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
no, they've got a reason. There's, and I almost never believe in the Eddie Bravo stuff, and all my coaches are kind of into that. And I'm never pro anything like that, but this is getting ridiculous.
It is. And again, I'm gonna hear a mouthful from my family after this, just because they hate hearing that stuff. But I'm glad we're on the same page, Sam. Awesome stuff. I do understand you have 5 kids, correct?
Yes, I have 5 kids.
5 kids. How is it in a house full of 5 kids? I'm Hispanic, so I'm kind of used to that environment. But
yeah, you know what? They're great. They all love each other. I've got, so my oldest is 7, then it's 5, 3, and then I have 2 1-year-olds.
Yeah.
And they play with each other. They love each other. They argue with each other. They're kids.
Yeah.
But it's just, I couldn't ask for a better situation for them. I'm busy a lot.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of downtime. But my wife and I, we handle it pretty well. And even through all the camps, they're with me. They help inspire me. They help push me on to go train some more.
That's awesome, man. Super awesome to hear. It's never a dull moment too, right? I assume.
Yes. Yeah. Never.
Yeah.
We've got a daddy-daughter dance coming up, and this will be our 4th or 5th year doing this. And so we're always getting ready for something.
That's awesome. Super awesome. I also understand you have 2 Sphinx cats, correct?
I do. I have 2 Sphinx cats, a Great Dane, a Cavalier King Charles, and then 1 other cat.
Okay, so being all that, I have 1 cat. I'm a very simple guy. But do your animals get along, the cats and dogs?
Yeah, my Great Dane's over there chilling out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's the pain in the butt. She's they get along with everyone, but she's way too interested when the cats come over. The cats are pretty chill. I'm not a big cat guy, and I have 3 of them, but these Sphinx cats are just amazing. They're chill always. They kind of come over, they get their pets, and they'll sit here. And then my big dog has always got a nose in him. No, she doesn't want to do anything. She just wants to make sure they're uncomfortable.
Okay. So being that you're not a cat guy, whose idea was it to get the cats?
Oh, that's my wife. It was my wife's idea to get the dogs too.
Yeah.
And to have 5 kids.
Oh,
it's all her fault.
That's funny. Being that you are a professional fighter, man, we're going to do a little segue to this. What does a training day consist like for you? Not necessarily for a fight camp, just a normal training day.
Yeah, normal training day. I'm usually up by 6:30. I go for a 2 or 3 mile run.
Yeah.
I get my first workout in after the run at 10:30. Go work out for an hour and a half there with the team. I'll come home, relax the afternoon. I'll go back in and teach some classes and get my second, third workout in the evening.
Nice. And how many days a week is that usually?
I'll do that schedule 5 days a week. Saturday, I'll do something a little bit less. I'll usually only get one, maybe two workouts on a Saturday, and Sunday I don't do much.
Okay, good. So you're pretty much 6 days out of the week doing something then.
Yeah, I'm always doing something,
Yeah.
and it's nice because when I'm officially in camp, I'm got the schedule down already. I'm already doing it still.
So being that is your fight scheduling, is it that much different from your regular workout schedule?
No, the only that I do two. Oops, that's my alarm telling me to come on with you guys. Yeah, no, the only I change two things in fight camp. I add conditioning and I lift less.
Okay.
So I love lifting weights. It's I like that almost more than fighting. But if I do it during camp, it takes too much out of me. And then I add the conditioning because if you get tired in a fight, you lose a fight.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's true. Do you have a pre-fight meal or a ritual that you usually go through?
Yeah, so I weigh in on Friday morning. Usually I'll hang out, I'll munch around the rest of the day. But at dinner, everywhere I've been, and I'm the guy, I've got 20 fights in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the guy that travels. I think I've only fought 8 of them in country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I have eaten pizza everywhere on the planet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That is my post-weigh-in pre-fight day ritual. And the world's got some good pizza.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm taking notes because I like to eat myself and I like to train too. So 6 days a week and pizza, and I'll be like you, right?
Yeah. Oh, you'll look more like Fedor than Faber. But
That's funny.
It's worked out right for me.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know you were in the Ultimate Fighter. I'm very interested in that aspect because it's kind of blending reality TV with, of course, fighting. How was that experience for you?
People are always disappointed with my answer because I always say it was really, really boring.
Yeah.
You're stuck in a house with the same 15 other guys, so 16 guys total, and they're all fighters. And so you talk about fighting for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I loved meeting my coaches. I had Trevor Whitman was the boxing coach for the season. Shane Carwin was the head coach. Nate Marquardt was there. Pat Bear. Loved my coaching staff. I mean, it was great getting to know those guys. I still know most of them. But you get to work out once, maybe twice a day.
Wow.
And then you're just at home doing nothing for 6 weeks. It was worth doing. I don't know if I'd do it again if they were to offer me like a comeback season or something.
Yeah.
But it was definitely worth doing once.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, because of, I think, public reality TV, are there like instigations for you guys to try to get into tussles and stuff like that?
No, but what they do is they keep liquor everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't, and it's actually funny. You'll get drunk and cause a ruckus or whatever, and then they kind of yell at you the next day for doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you have they have liquor in every room at any time. You can be pretty wasted.
That's hilarious. You mentioned Shane Carwin, and to me, that's the biggest what if guy in UFC history, I think, because man, that fight against Brock, I feel like maybe 9 out of 10 people would have stopped the fight, possibly.
Yeah.
You know, and
it was arguably the best non-stoppage in UFC history.
Oh, for sure.
I love that they didn't stop that fight. I think the only one you could argue that might be better is the Frankie Edgar versus Gray Maynard.
Definitely, yeah.
That was probably the best. But yeah, it was the best non-stoppage ever, and Brock came back and did what he had to. I was super impressed with that performance from both of the guys.
No, definitely, and I always think, because I saw that fight. It's funny that you bring up Carwin. I saw that fight maybe 3 days ago again. I'm a sucker for the heavyweights. I like watching those old fights.
He was so much fun because he had that power, man.
He was so big.
He's actually there's a lot of people don't know is the UFC. We've got our gloves where it has 2 Velcro straps, so you can kind of put your hand in it and then it wraps around. That was made because of Carwin. Carwin was backstage, and he was either fighting Brock or someone else, and he couldn't get his hand in the glove. And so what they had to do is they cut the glove up the wrist so they could put his hand in, and they retaped everything. And that was the design of the new UFC glove. He has got the biggest hands of anyone I have ever met. It's like there's not been a close second.
Oh my gosh! And you think of Brock has some monstrous hands too, but
yeah, Carwins are bigger. We on the show, he wasn't even talking to us. Coach Carwin wasn't. He came over talking to his coach Lando, and he said, "Hey, coach, we're gonna have to talk to the UFC. We got to get bigger weights over here."
yeah.
Lando said, "Oh, what are you talking? We're here for 6 weeks. We don't need to be lifting anything. We saw the weights are up to 120." So no, my hand doesn't fit between the plates.
Jesus. Oh my God. That is so crazy. That's so crazy. Yeah, and you still keep in touch with Shane?
Actually, no. Shane almost none at all.
Okay.
But Trevor Whitman, I keep in touch with him pretty well. Neil Magny, I hit him up every now and then, who was on my system.
Yeah.
So I a couple of the guys I do. I'd love to say hi to Shane. I just haven't.
Yeah. No, people get busy. I definitely understand. That's really awesome, though. We appreciate the inside information.
Yeah.
Do you have any go-to music tracks when you're training or going out to fight? Anything of that?
The Greatest Showman is probably my favorite movie of all times.
Okay.
So I've got that downloaded, and then they had all different artists sing all the same songs. I've got that downloaded too. So I listen to The Greatest Showman pretty often.
Oh,
the
nice.
last mile of every run for sure.
Oh, very awesome. Very awesome. So basically for your fans, I know you post a lot of, you don't really hide much on social media. But is there anything that your fans don't necessarily know about you, from something you want to bring up that people don't know about you?
No, shoot, I'm pretty much an open book.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm kind of keeping to myself online is that COVID's embarrassing.
Okay. That's all that's open now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know who's left to yell at me.
Yeah, that's funny. So as far as fighting, you've been a professional fighter for a long time. What got you into fighting initially, and what made you think, okay, you know what, I'm good enough to make it pro now?
Yeah, not a thing. I never watched fighting. I think the first event I ever watched was UFC 100. Might have been the first one, but it was probably after that. Yeah, I had fought for long time without knowing anything.
Wow.
I started my own gym in Wisconsin. I was the head coach of a pretty good team out there, and I was just making it up as I went.
Wow.
Never watched boxing, wasn't in taekwondo. I wrestled, but only kinda. No, somebody offered me a chance to fight in the cage. I said, okay, let's give it a shot. Jeez. And went on an 11-fight tear, turned pro somewhere in there. When they started offering me, I said, well, shoot, I should probably work out. So then I started, that's when I kind of started the gym. I started just using the football field and the wrestling room at Lakeland College, just kind of doing whatever I thought was supposed to be done. And I was probably 5-1 or 6-1 as a pro before I learned the UFC was a thing.
Wow, that is so crazy.
Yeah.
Being that, of course, you've been a fighter for a while now, do you have I guess you could say, a better appreciation as a fan, or you're still kind of in that same mindset?
No, I understand this sport. So, I've been doing it for 12 years.
Yeah.
And I was the guy that I might be the last person to ever be able to say, yeah, I never watched it, and then I did it.
Yeah, seriously.
I might be the last one. And so I got to really grow up with the sport. And grow up as a fighter with the sport, I should say, as opposed to watching and then becoming a fighter. So I've kind of really gotten to see how the sport has progressed from 12 years ago to now.
No, definitely. That's awesome. Yeah, I've never heard that before. Just, so guys that's just not really a fan and then kills it. That's awesome.
Oops, I lost you.
Oh,
you're still there.
Being that is, do you have any current favorite fighters that you tend to watch right now?
I liked Poirier.
Oh, yeah.
I like after his fight, last week and 2 weekends ago, he might be my favorite fighter on the roster.
That was incredible.
Everyone likes him, and he was great, but that fight was just incredible. He's probably the favorite fighter on the roster right now.
He's a killer. Yeah, that kid's a killer. So your nickname, Smilin', it's very obvious why you have that nickname. Who gave that to you, though?
I think it was my dad. I don't remember. Not even he doesn't quite remember when it was said or any of
Yeah.
that. It just kind of came about, and it was after I became a fighter. He said we should come up with something so people, remember your name more easily. And I think it was him that said it.
Okay, cool. I like knowing the backstory. We talked to Dewey Cooper a couple of weeks back, and he was scolding us about how he's like, "Hey, make sure anybody you ask, make sure that their nickname is genuine and they didn't give it to them themselves." He's an old school
Yep.
guy.
No, that's always been the case. You don't give yourself your own
Yeah.
nickname. If you do, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
We don't need any we don't need any more spiders or assassins.
Oh my God.
Or shark teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do something at some point, you'll get the nickname.
No,
And so
for
it
sure.
was my dad that came up with it. We think it was him. Yeah, I've always been a pretty happy guy, and my name starts with an S, so it just made sense.
My friend, it fits you perfectly.
The only thing I wish I would have done, so I spell it SMILE''N,
Uh-huh.
and I was Smiling Sam before Instagram or Twitter and all that was around.
Yeah.
I wish I would have gone IN instead.
Yeah.
That's how everyone thinks it's spelled, and
Uh-huh.
now I'm sure it hurts my Instagram following.
I'm sure it's fine, but yeah, I understand what you're saying for sure. You had your first UFC fight in 2014. Didn't necessarily go your way. Were you nervous for that fight when you realized this is the biggest stage in the world?
No. I was very appreciative of how big the fight was. Wow, 2014 was it?
Yeah.
Man, that was a long time ago. Man, that's cool. Yeah, I suppose it has been 6 years. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, what was I saying? I've never been nervous. I never meant to be a fighter. I graduated college. I was going to do my own thing, and
Mm-hmm.
I stumbled into the UFC apparently 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've never been nervous for a fight, even my last fight. Now the UFC has not cut me. Thank God. I'm on a terrible streak right now. I've got to change something around, and I'm going to get back on it. And think I'm going to go back down to 185 and have some more success down there. But I wasn't nervous going into my last fight, knowing that if I lost, they were going to cut me, and they didn't cut me, thank God. But I wasn't even nervous then. I never meant to be a fighter.
Yeah.
I've got a few other skills. I think I'm probably a better fighter than I am anything else, but I've got a few other skills to fall back on, and people keep telling me I talk well. So maybe that'll turn into making money somehow.
No, you do. Okay, so being that I also thought that. Have you thought about making a YouTube channel, anything of that aspect?
I have. I'm a terrible interviewer. I feel like I give good interviews, but asking people questions I'm not good at, and I've tried to get better at it, and someday I might be. What is it? It's the color commentator and the straight man. I'm much more the color commentator. So I'd have to find a good straight man to help lead everything, and then I'd throw in my waka wakas every now and then.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You are a good talker. Keep listening to that. I would think about doing a YouTube channel because that's what everybody watches nowadays. Nobody watches TV anymore.
Yeah, I do have a YouTube channel. I think it's either Sam Alvey at YouTube or Smiling Sam. It's one of the two. Probably is I probably made two, and I just forgot about it.
Yeah.
I do have a website, smilemma.com.
Okay.
And I do post some stuff to that every now and then. And I've been trying to get into the Instagram Live. TikTok, I just got into TikTok.
Oh, okay.
And, oh, my God, that is the greatest thing humans have ever done. TikTok is just incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to figure out. I'm slow playing it. I haven't done anything amazing on it yet, because I haven't figured out how to edit it and all that myself yet.
Yeah.
But I'm working on it. I'm actively trying to learn and progress with that.
That's awesome. You mentioned possibly going back down the middleweight. How is that cut for you? Is it a very difficult cut?
No cut is easy.
Yeah.
205 is way better than 85.
Yeah.
I typically walk between 220 and 230, and that's even when I'm cutting a middleweight. So it's the camp that is far more difficult. I can't cheat anymore. I can't do my Friday night pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
when I'm going to middleweight. I have to stay. If I get a cheat meal, it's got to be like a responsible cheat meal. Um, and I'm thinking about it. I've done real well. I keep my weight low after this last fight. I'm still under 220.
Okay.
I've started running a little bit. I kind of hate running, but I've started running a little bit more. I think I still got to talk to the coaches and see officially what they think. But I think we're all in agreement. I'll give one more shot back down at 85.
Okay.
Then I'll win there and I'll stay there and I'll be stuck there.
No, yeah, and you'd be a pretty big 85er, to be honest. So.
Yeah, I was there for years and I was always one of the bigger ones. And then I went up to 205 and I'm no longer one of the bigger ones.
Yeah, it's crazy how that 20-pound jump makes a difference. You know what I mean? You fought Rashad Evans, who was one of my favorite fighters ever in 2017. He was a beast. You beat him though. How was training for that fight? How was the experience fighting a guy of the caliber of Rashad Evans?
Rashad was always one of my favorite fighters too.
Yeah.
He was always so much fun to watch in the octagon. He was always just – he was one of those guys that I really wanted to know personally. Like he always seemed – he seemed just enjoyable to be around. And he was I only got to meet him a little bit. You know, this fight week, he kind of wants to do what he does, and I try to stay away from him and all that. And he wasn't very friendly fight week, but it was fight week. We've met a few other times since then, and he's been great. But training for the fight was it was a lot of fun. Just knowing I had that UFC title holder, you know, in the horizon. It was inspirational. I had a really good camp for that one.
That's awesome. No, and I'm assuming you did, which is why I asked. Like, I'm sure it must have been a crazy, good experience fight camp wise. You talked a little bit about your last fight, didn't go your way, split decision loss, I believe. Do you have an idea of when you're gonna fight again, or have you talked to the UFC about that?
I've talked to the UFC, but not about a fight just yet. I was actually just texting with Mick Maynard, saying, hey, good. I saw photos of the Fight Island. Said, hey, it looks great. Good luck this week. I can't wait to watch.
Yeah.
I've talked to him about, stuff like that. But it was the next fight, I'm hoping September.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going back to Wisconsin next weekend just for a week. My parents just moved down to Tennessee, so I'm going to fly into Wisconsin, help pack their stuff, and then drive it down for them.
Yeah.
And then I should be back a week after that, and hopefully I will reach out and start looking for a fight. Then I'll have the greatest fight of my life.
Yeah, for sure. So you've said September now, and I know you're going to be busy in the week after that you're talking about with your parents helping them move and stuff like that. If the UFC did, because people are pulling out right now because of COVID left and right. If they did offer you a fight in 3 weeks, the last week of Fight Island, would you do that?
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Oh, really? Okay, well, great.
Yeah. No, I have taken so many bad fights on short notice, even for the UFC, that I shouldn't have, but did.
Yeah.
This time I'd go to Fight Island. Yeah, it would be in a heartbeat. I could make 85 by then if I really wanted to. But it would be a miserable cut.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So speaking of Fight Island, I feel like maybe I'm doing the wrong research, but it seems like there's an octagon on the beach. There's also an octagon inside of a room. Do you know if they're fighting outside or inside?
It's actually, I said I was texting Mick Maynard. That's what I was texting him about. I said, hey, I'm sure you guys have thought of everything. I only saw the photo, but I said, hey, I have fought outside before, and it's miserable. The canvas, I mean, I've seen it blister feet. It burns. My debut as an amateur was actually an outdoor fight. Went between rounds. My corners weren't allowed in for whatever reason.
Wow.
I didn't know they ever. So I went and I sat on the canvas. So my shorts were on it. I put my feet up against the cage, and I had my wife. My wife was cornering me then, girlfriend at the time, and my dad said, "Hey, ice my feet." So they're putting water and ice through the cage on my feet.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I texted, "Hey, I'm sure you've thought of everything, but if they're fighting outside, that canvas is miserably hot. I mean,
yeah.
it's. And I fought before where between fights, they ice the canvas and they tarp it, and it does nothing. It still burns.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just, that's what I was texting you about. That they will be fighting inside. They said
Okay.
it's just a practice, a training, a photo opportunity, octagon out on the beach.
Okay, well, we appreciate that because I think a lot of people don't necessarily know that. You see it on Instagram, social media, they do show the beach octagon, and everybody's thinking like, man, that's super sick, blah blah blah. But then I start thinking, man, Abu Dhabi's pretty damn hot. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
humid and all that. Like, it does sound miserable. Like like you're
yeah.
saying.
I made my amateur debut a year later. I had a buddy of mine fight at the same card. It was an outdoor event. And
Yeah.
I told him, I said, listen, tape your feet. It's hot. He said, no, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. He went out there, knocked his boy out in like 4 seconds or something, just boom, flattened him. But he was stuck in the octagon because the doctors were coming in. They're taking
Yeah.
And so he's hopping back and forth. He went backstage, and I mean, the bottom of his foot blistered off.
Oh my God.
It was the grossest thing I'd ever seen. He got back there, and a piece of skin the size of his hand was just flopping on the bottom of his foot.
Jesus.
Yeah, and he was out there, I mean, as short a time as you could have had. Whoops.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah,
okay.
so I was just saying, hey, the UFC, I don't think I was thinking of everyone in the UFC who would know that. I don't know if anyone in the UFC has ever fought in an outdoor octagon or done anything. So I was just saying, hey, just so you know, you
Yeah.
probably thought about it, but that canvas is going to be miserable. It's going to change how fights happen.
No. Oh, okay. Now I'm definitely happy that they're fighting inside, because
Yeah.
imagine just what could be an awesome fight turns into just everybody having happy feet because of the canvas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. You had a successful run in the MFC where you were the champ.
Mm-hmm.
How was your experience over there? Obviously, you had a lot of success.
Yeah, I love the MFC. It was outside of the UFC. It was the most responsible, respectful, high-end show I've ever fought on. That's where I won the title. I was a world champion.
Yep.
It was a world title, and that was my goal to win that world championship. And it was just a phenomenal cage opportunity show, and I had nothing but respect for Mark Pavlich, who was the owner. They say it was the second oldest MMA show. UFC was number one, followed by the MFC.
Yeah.
I love fighting for him. It was the best. It was the best to this day. The best show on Access TV.
Yeah. No, for sure. Thanks for that information. Also, I did want to ask you about the fight that's been made yesterday, I believe it was, about Masvidal and Usman. Crazy, right? That they actually put it together. Who do you have winning that fight, though?
I hope Masvidal goes out there and floors Usman. I hope it happens.
Yeah.
I don't think it will.
Yeah.
I think Usman's going to get it, especially on a week's notice or 2 weeks' notice, however long it was. But, yeah, I'm going to pick Usman on it, but I hope Masvidal wins it.
Yeah, and we're in the same boat. I love Masvidal. I like everything he does. He's a awesome guy. But as far as a week's notice, 6 days notice, it almost doesn't sound plausible. I'm sure Masvidal's been training, right? I'm sure he's been training, but
probably, but not for a fight.
Yeah,
and it is different. I wonder. Usman's a guy. His last title fight against Colby Covington was maybe the best fight in UFC title history. Loved it. Yep. I thought the judges were terrible and the referee was terrible, but I loved that fight. But outside of that fight, Usman's style is he just kind of leans on you for as long as it takes.
Yeah.
And for a guy who's got a week's worth of cardio in him, it's going to be hard to not have Usman just lean on him. Yeah,
and unless Masvidal just torches him, right? Just
comes out with that flying knee.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't think so. Usman, I'm not a big fan of his style, but I respect the hell out of how talented he is.
Oh, for sure.
And, I couldn't see a flying knee like that work again.
No, yeah, not anymore. It's been played millions of times. Is there any fight that you're looking forward to besides that one that's coming up, just as a fan perspective?
Is Rose Namajunas still fighting?
She's fighting on that same card this week. Yeah,
this card, right?
Yeah.
That looks. I think that's going to be a fun fight. Co-main event's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for Holloway. I don't know if he's going to get it, but I'm pulling for Holloway.
Yeah.
And Rose, I love Rose. Pat Barry and I'll call us buddies. even though I don't ever see him or talk to him, but we were at one point.
Yeah.
And so I'll say she and I are buddies too then.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Awesome. Awesome. It's a pretty stacked card as it is, right? So
It is. I'm looking forward to this card. A lot of results I want to see.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We hope you get that last minute call for the next couple of weeks. I want to see you fight.
Oh, don't hope that.
I'm hoping it. I'm hoping
I'll take it. Oh, I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just, like I said, people are pulling out. You're seeing, COVID stuff happen, and it would be awesome if you were at Fight Island, right? So
it'd be great. I want to fight on Fight Island. I just don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, exactly. But we'll definitely be pulling for you. Is there any words of encouragement you would give to an upcoming fighter right now that's almost there but not necessarily there yet?
Keep it's a grind. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
I've been in the UFC for 6 years, which means I was out of the UFC for about 6 years. And you don't make any money until you're in the UFC, until you're on that next level.
Yeah.
So keep pushing through, keep working as hard as you can, and just know that rainbow is the end of the rainbow is coming.
Okay.
It's going to keep taking that hard work. And the other encouragement is run your mouth, a positive, negative, whatever it is. Anything you can do. You only get seconds at a time to be in front of a camera when you're in that. Use it to say something, to do something. If you've got a special talent, if you can make your stomach do the weight, have your stomach do the weight.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to make people remember who you are.
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. And you know what? It's proven great for McGregor, Colby, for Henry Cejudo, all those guys. So
yeah. Chael Sonnen's probably the best.
Oh my God, Chael's amazing.
Chael's the king, and you don't even have to be quite like that. Like Colby's cringeworthy, Cejudo's cringeworthy. Even though I love that. Connor was decent at it. Just if you can do anything that somebody else can't do, do it. Just something to say, oh my God, did you see that happen? See, I think it was that Sam guy. He smiled real big.
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, that was me.
Okay, great words of advice. Right now, Sam, again, we appreciate every minute you've given us. I didn't know how much you were going to give us, so it's been awesome. I really do appreciate it. The floor is yours. If there's anything you want to say, shout outs, anything like that.
Yeah, okay, let's see. Smiling Sam, it's at Smiling Sam on all social media. Follow me on TikTok because that's the one I'm just starting it. I kind of want to see if I can get big on it. And I love it. And I'm just having my kids do stupid little stuff on it now. Yeah. But I'm going to start getting myself on there a lot more too. TikTok, Simplified CBD. They're a sponsor of mine. They're a good friend. If you go Sam20, you'll get 20% off your entire order.
Good to know. Sure.
Yeah, Simplified CBD. It's wonderful stuff. And Sam20 makes it 20% cheaper. This is another good one. My website is smilemma.com. Right now I'm having it's called the Make Me Smile Challenge. I'm a foster father, and as bad as this COVID has been for adults, it has been far, far worse on the foster system. And the children that will be in the foster system. And so in respect for that, I'm having us a little challenge. We've got about $2,500 in Amazon gift cards I'm going to be giving away.
Nice.
$1,000 gift card goes to the winner. And all you got to do is you go to my website, you'll sign up top, and then you post something on social media, something that makes me smile. And whoever makes me smile the most with the hashtag Make Me Smile Challenge under it, they're gonna win $1,000, and it'll be $500 for second place, and then we'll have a bunch of third place $100 gift cards. But it's all we're raising money, we're raising awareness, we're doing all that for the foster system, foster children, and in particular children that are aging out of the foster system.
Okay.
So I would love it if all of you went to smilemma.com and checked it out.
No, we'll do that. Well, Sam, you've been an amazing guest, and you're an amazing person, obviously, for the stuff you're involved with. Again, we deeply appreciate you doing this. This was an honor for us, definitely. So thank you again, Sam. We appreciate it.
You are very welcome, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a great day, man.
All right, you too.
Later, buddy.